If I'm crazy, I'm on my own. If I'm waiting, it's on my throne. If I sound lazy, just ignore my tone. Cause I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger? Can't stop me now. I said I got you now. I'm right here at your door. I won't leave. I won't move. What's up, danger? Yeah, what's up, danger? Can't stop me now. Yeah. I said I got you now. Come on, what's up, danger? Come on, say what's up, danger?
Good morning. How are you? Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. I know Friday, 10 a.m., work, maybe school is difficult, but you have no idea how much it means to the students and to us as well that you are here with us today. My name is Sadok Cervantes. I am the managing director here at Lingap, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Lingap San Francisco 2023. San Francisco, even though it happens in Berkeley. Yesterday we were saying our goodbyes. A lot of people cried, including myself, the first one. And I heard one of our students describe Lingap as the anti-school. And I swear we're not anarchists. We love school. I think the school system may not be serving us the way that we think, that the way that we need. And the best way I think I can describe the anti-school thing that this student was talking about is by giving you a number. %60. 60% of all students will drop out of college. That's just a statistic. To me, that's not the most mind-blowing thing. Half of these will happen during the first year. And I sympathize, the primary reason why this happens is stress and anxiety. And I sympathize because I don't know if you remember your first college year. I do, and it's just a ball of anxiety, stress, hard work, being away from home for the first time, having my first job, all while trying to do 3 papers at once and learning how to do laundry. There was a recent study by Santa Clara University here in California that said that in order to receive the punches of life, because this is a punch of life, this is a big punch, a punch of reality, I would say. In order to, for someone to withstand the punches of life, they found that the earlier children and teenagers were exposed to emotional and intellectual challenges, not information. These children and teenagers were growing something called self-efficacy. And self-efficacy is just another word for saying resilience, grit, the ability to fall, yes, but the ability to rise back up again. That's it. It's no guarantee that they're not going to fall. The guarantee is that they will rise up again. And in turn, self-efficacy create self-esteem, which is amazing. Now, what do we do with this information? Well, if school is not giving that, if it's not giving that self-efficacy to our kids, then what do we do? How do we provide those emotional challenges and intellectual challenges that this study was mentioning? And here at Lingap, we think that one of the biggest emotional challenges and intellectual challenges that any person can go through is starting a business. And if you've started a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because you felt joy and happiness, but I'm pretty sure you've also felt angry, not just at your teammates, your clients even, but also at yourself. You felt disappointed, sad, depressed. It's a whole experience. So you see, it's not just about entrepreneurship. It's not just about starting a business, getting that first dollar. It's who you need to become to get that first dollar, to get that first client. And that's what Lingap is. Lingap is a safe space for our students to create a business, but a safe space for them to fail, a safe space for them to learn from those failures, a safe space for them to also succeed, to also become who they need to be to get to this point today. Today, you're going to see things that literally happened in 4 weeks. None of these projects, startups, businesses, however you want to call it, none of those were started beforehand. Everything happened in 4 weeks. Some of these things happened in just the last 3 days. And this is the result of all the work that they've done. All the work. We have our lovely judges here that I'm going to introduce in just a second. They have over 30 years of combined experience in investing, CEOs of their own companies, running startups, big corporate. And we had one judge yesterday, one former judge of Lingap come to the kids and talk to them, just to give them like a little bit heads up of the questions that they might encounter. And he put it in such an amazing way. He said, I'm going to be very hard on you. I'm going to ask you questions like you're adults, but it's not a punishment. It's a reward. It's a reward that I'm respecting you and treating you as an equal because you are. The work that you've done, that they've all done in these past 4 weeks, is hard. It's really hard. We don't advertise Lingap as fun. We do have fun, like you saw, but we don't advertise Lingap as fun, like a space camp or whatever, because it's a hard experience. People cry. People get depressed. People get sad. People get also joyful, happy, and all the things that the business experience combines. Lingap is to experience real life, so that when the next time reality throws a punch at your kid, at your family member, at your friend, they can punch back. So without further ado, we are going to start the pitches. And before doing that, I am going to introduce the judges. Now, every single year, we get over 2,000 applications from 20 countries. That's a lot. This shows that there's a need for this supplement that school is not giving. And these 2,000 applications don't just represent applications, you know? They represent 2,000 ideas. They represent 2,000 startups, 2,000 teenagers, but also 2,000 dreams. And we've been doing this since 2015, when the first Lingap started. 40 kids embarked on a journey, on the same journey that these students have finished doing. And every single year is such a different experience. Every single year is such an impressive experience for everyone, a life-changing experience, not just for the students, but also for us. And then when the pandemic hit, we had a challenge. Do we do this online? Is it going to be the same impact? And we had a leap of faith. We didn't know. Like, I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to do the online Link app because I didn't think that we had what it take to run this program online. But then we took the leap of faith, and it worked. And it worked for another year, and another year, another cohort. It worked this year as well. And now is the time of the San Francisco 2023 cohort. You're going to see the students here in such a different way as you left them with us. And I think that will show the growth that they've had in these 4 weeks. Now, to help us with that final punch of reality, with that first punch of reality, I would say, we have Danielle. Danielle here. Danielle is the founder and general partner at 1517. And 1517 is such an important fund because it's not just a regular VC fund. They fund dropouts, students, the rebels, the outliers, people that don't want to go with the river, people that are looking for something like this. She's also part of the founding team at the Thiel Fellowship. Thiel Fellowship started by Peter Thiel, one of the original founders of PayPal. And she has over a decade of experience, with young entrepreneurs and makers. I think it's safe to say that we owe Danielle the tools that we use today, like Figma, and we owe Danielle a lot of the cryptocurrency ecosystem because she helped create Ethereum. Thank you very much, Danielle, for being here. We have Ajay also here with us. Now, Ajay is the co-founder at Simplified. It's an AI company with over 1 million users. So, like, his traction and user acquisition skills are, like, off the chart. And I know, I can safely say that because it's not the first time that he's done that. He's also the former CEO and founder of Rumi that achieved over 3 million users. He's also part of the elite club of Forbes 30 Under 30. Thank you very much, Ajay, for being here. And then we have Christine. Christine is the former CEO of TopGG. It's the largest search and discovery platform of Discord that achieved over 1 million users. And she's also the former chief product officer at MetaTheory and former director of product management at SoundCloud. She's held product management roles at Pinterest, Twitch, and LinkedIn. So we have everything covered: traction, product, and investing. And this is going to be the first punch of reality for our students. So can we please welcome the first team, InvoKit?
Hi guys, I'm Dev.
I'm Lincoln.
And I'm Tony.
And we're co-founders of InvoKit, where we create STEM kits to revolutionize the pathway to competitive robotics.
But first, let me tell you a story of my past. Imagine a young, eager child piecing together makeshift robots out of nothing more than shoe boxes. That was me, fueled by a passion that was as real as it was powerful. That passion, that love for robotics led me to create my own competitive robotics team. However, our inexperience was our downfall, resulting in a series of losses that felt like a punch to the gut. All I could think about was giving up. Most people would have, but I didn't. After a summer of relentless self-education and hard work, my story started to take a turn for the better. I built robot after robot after robot after robot, and my robots, once symbols of defeat, started to emerge victorious. By 2022, I had won the largest robotics competition in the world, defeating over 3,200 teams and winning numerous engineering awards. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? Sadly, it wasn't. Behind these achievements was a stark reality. Sacrifices, lots of them. I lost friendships, my mental health degraded, I lost precious time, and I was failing most, if not all, of my classes. The quest for robotics excellence took a grave toll on me. And even worse, I felt alone.
But it turns out Lincoln wasn't alone in this story. 52% of people struggle with the same issue that Lincoln had. They don't pursue a career in STEM because they find it too scary. Yet, it is these fields that form the foundation for our global innovation. This is our future, and it is our responsibility to nurture the innovators of tomorrow without the same struggle that Lincoln had. And that's why we're introducing InvoKit, where we sell premium STEM education taught by robotics world champions. Our first kit is already designed, a drive-based system that comes with a customizable gearbox to teach kids about gear ratios and the other STEM topics we've integrated into the product. On top of that, we have interactive lessons and videos that we've made sure to keep short so kids don't lose their attention. And last but not least, we have formed a community. We have a forum where kids can talk about their robots and ask each other questions just to make them better. And it's as simple as that. That's how we create our robotics world champions.
And after extensive marketing research, we found ourselves with just a couple competitors. To list them, we have MakeBlock, Kiwi Crate, and Crunch Labs. However, our kit simply offers more robotics concepts, and also we offer courses that are designed and taught by only the robotics champions. Therefore, our program is not only taught by the best, but we're also for those who want to be the best. Speaking about the best, our team is also the best to take on this job. Out of 7 team members, 3 of them are excellent robotics champions who will take care of all the products design. And not only that, we have 4 other team members who's going to take care of everything else. Communication, business operation, marketing, you name it, we got it. And while designing our product, we took into account the massive robotics education market globally, valued at $35 billion. And our product will specifically target the $1.5 billion middle school and high school level educational robotics kits market. And our product is going to be competitively priced at $175. We'll be getting $35 of revenue per kit. Our production cost is $75. Other expenses will total to $50 per kit, and the shipping will be $15. And in order to fuel our dreams, we're asking for $200,000. $55,000 will be going to operations, while $85,000 is going to manufacturing, $30,000 is going to marketing, and the last $30,000 will be going to website and forum design. Finally, with the funding, we'll be able to execute our future roadmap. And by the end of the year, we'll have our website fully developed, our forum fully running, and also we'll be integrating our product into different school districts to target a wider array of children. And by Q1 of next year, we'll be distributing a whopping 1,500 kits. And by Q2, we'll be diversifying our product to other levels of difficulty and expertise, rookies and pros alike.
So remember, at InvoKit, we don't only assemble machines,
We assemble dreams.
Thank you.
Great. So after each team pitches, what will happen is the judges will ask questions. And they will ask questions just like they would ask questions if they were going to invest in these products. So the questions are going to be really hard. But like I said, like I mentioned, this is their reward. Because of all the hard work they put in, they are being rewarded with this. Now, the judges are going to judge in 2 categories. They're going to name, at the end of the pitches, they're going to name the most outstanding company and the best pitch. Now, the most important thing is that I want to clarify is the most outstanding company. It's not in comparison to the other companies, okay? Because LinkUp is not a competition. Like you just heard, everyone is cheering for everyone because LinkUp is not a competition. We don't compete against each other. We compete against ourselves. So they are going to name most outstanding company based on a 4-week journey in their industry, in what they've achieved, not in comparison to the other companies. Okay? The judges will have 3 minutes to ask questions. I am going to announce when there's 30 seconds left. And please start.
All right. Questions. Great enthusiasm up there. Awesome. I'd love to know sort of what metrics you have going right now as far as like building this community. Do you have people in a Discord right now? What type of activity do you have? I'd also love to hear more about the frequency of the kits and how often you anticipate putting them out, as well as where you're going to manufacture.
Speak about the community. Right now, we actually haven't had a full community built, and that's exactly why we need the money. We're planning on doing it. We already have sent out forms. People are interested in it, so we know the need for it, and all we need to do is develop it. We want it on our own website. We don't want to do it on a different platform, and that's part of it. And
I think also to tie sort of into that is what you're asking a little bit about marketing too. So what's great about being a small startup is that we can leverage our family connections, our personal network. And we've been in middle school. I know some parents they're in group chats, and we can leverage that as well. And I think someone else can speak to the roadmap.
And in the future, we're going to be partnering with like bigger companies so that we can make our production more efficient and also cheaper. And since big companies have like bigger connections too, they can just allow our products to be spread over a like larger area on the map, like over the entire U.S., for example.
And to speak about how often we're going to make products, right now we're only going to focus on this first kit. We're going to get fully developed and done, and there should be 2 other kits that we're already designing that build on top of this kit, and that has levels to it, right? And then from there, we want to have some for beginners and then advanced.
Okay, I have, I guess as someone who did first robotics in high school, this is super cool to see. And then I did some, I think, Baja essay in college. I have a follow-up question, actually, since I've worked on a lot of community products. I'm curious, why do you want to build your own form on the website versus, using something, more grassroots, like Discord, for example, or other, Slack, there's a lot of kind of tools out there.
I mean, the way we wanted to frame it is we wanted to build our own brand, right? We didn't want it to be like based off something else. We wanted to be like InvoKit, one stop. You learn your robotics. This is where people talk. This is where.
Yeah. Give me the translator. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. This is like where people talk with each other. This is where the videos are. It's where everything is at once. And we just wanted to make it the best user experience, yeah.
Can I add more on that? It's also because we target a niche market of middle schoolers and high schoolers who really are into robotics or really want to get into robotics. So in our website, we'll have that forum based, and you'll meet like-minded people too.
Yeah, great question. Thank you.
I think the big question is you mentioned quite a lot about the courses, right?
Yeah.
Of course, taught by the champions. But is that the special sauce? Because I think, right, the kit, I think there are other companies developing kit as well. But you said that, hey, you do courses and maybe others don't, or maybe if they end up starting their own courses.
Well, to answer that question, great question, by the way. Our robotics program is going to be taught by three robotics champions over there, and they have been through this exact journey. Like all of them started how Lincoln started, and they have extreme amounts of sympathy and understanding of how the robotics scene works. And so we're basically offering a lot of like we just understand more about the field than a lot of our competitors do.
Do you know how much it's going to cost to sell a kit?
Can you repeat that question?
How much would it cost to sell a kit? I mean, sorry, like to acquire a customer, like CAC. What the CAC would be?
Well, our price is $175 per kit.
The thing is, you have no community, right? And you're saying, okay, the courses are special. I think the courses are special, right? But you got to build the community around courses now, right? Like even using someone else's kit, to be honest, and teaching kids, hey, this is how you do it. So you build a user base that is like sort of like loyal to the teaching, not to the kit maybe, right?
Yeah.
And that loyalty around like teaching turns into, hey, we got our own kit now. That's like super awesome, designed by us. You should buy it, right? Because $175, and you're spending the least money on marketing and design, actually. I think manufacturing, given, is going to take a lot of but everyone has manufacturing costs, right?
Yeah.
But I think if design is special, then why spend the least money? If the reach is going to be more, you want more people to, of course, buy the product, then that's the least as well. That means you don't have a community, you're not marketing yet, So what would be the CAC, right? Because $175 might be you might be selling for $500, and then you're going to be in losses. I mean, you're going to lose money on every single kit.
So for that, we've already reached out to a bunch of schools in the different areas, right? And that's what we've been doing for advertising. We've been doing just communication with personal connections, and then we've emailed 10 plus schools, and some of them are interested, and that's how we're gonna try to get it to the first area of people. If that answers your question.
No, I would just say know your numbers. I mean, that's all. I mean, I know this as harsh as it is.
Oh yeah. By the way, we have 7 sales already that are through just people that we've reached out to personally.
So I do want to kind of challenge again on the community piece, right? Like you know, your special sauce is right developing these courses, forums. You know, you have manufacturing here, but it is going to be expensive and take time to build up. You know, like forums on your website, or is this a mobile app versus using something like Discord, Reddit, or putting some information on YouTube? And I guess a lot of the question too, which lends to customer acquisition, is part of maybe having that Discord community, even if it's private, is it also lends itself to easy discovery. If you concentrate on your own website, I think there could be some challenges there.
Okay.
I think one thing basically that I'm hearing from every judge is that you can do more and spend less time and less money to test this sooner with students.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess another question on maybe distribution strategy. So, you have these kits, you're targeting people who are learning about robotics. Are you specifically going to focus on like I guess first is probably the biggest competition, or is it just, anyone looking at robotics? Because I remember, I think as someone who participated in it, we would get support like from that competition itself, or like we have to pay for these materials. So just trying to understand, right, who your like target customer is.
Monica, do you?
Well, I think one of my mentors put it in a really funny way, but they're basically tiger parents, people who want their kids to excel and to learn robotics in a really relevant way, and to get their kids ahead so they know what's coming next. Because for Lincoln, he had to learn the basics in high school that he should have in middle school. So that's really that niche market that we're targeting.
I have one question about that. What you were talking about, Lincoln, was like this sort of double-edged sword of learning robotics, but it taking a big toll. Are we now putting that toll on even younger, earlier students, or are we helping them?
Well, we're revolutionizing the pathway to like being a competitive robotics person. And this means that instead of going through his journey, which is like tens of summer camps, education courses, and like meetings and like tutors and like a bunch of other programs, we're just simplifying it down to like one kit, probably several kits in the future too, and some courses which are one stop. And this is remarkably less stress than all of our competitors combined, which is what a lot of students in robotics takes these days.
We want to take all the lessons and important lessons that he learned of the the thousands of hours that he put in, and just combine it into just exactly what we need for the kids. Yeah.
Last question.
I was just going to comment on that. I think like another way of saying what you're doing, because like I haven't done FIRST Robotics, but my understanding is that it's a very expensive program to partake in, and it's not accessible to a lot of young people. So what you might be saying is like that you're democratizing access to some of this type of learning and teaching for students who wouldn't have the opportunity to do so otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why we priced it at what we did with all that's included. One thing that we wanted to phrase it as is like world-class price, taught by the world-class robotics champions. And yeah, we just want to make it so everyone, that was done purposefully so we have the biggest market and make sure everyone can get a chance to become a robotics champion.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Very much.
Hi, we're Tutor Spirit, an online tutoring program to help students stand out from their peers. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another tutoring program? Really? There's thousands of these on the market already.
We're not your everyday tutoring program. Let me introduce you to our secret sauce. While other tutoring programs just provide help with grades, we help our students with not only that, but academic projects such as research reports and symposium presentations, in addition to competition help. And this is something that people are looking for. In the last 1 week alone, we've had 18 sessions booked and have generated $750 in revenue. But how'd we get here? To learn about that, let's hear the story of one of our co-founders, Ryan.
Let me tell you my story. In freshman year of high school, I was at a low point in my life. I was really struggling, falling behind all of my classmates into the academic trenches. In fact, it was so bad that I was a whole grade level below in my Spanish class. This led me to having a whopping 2.8 GPA. My parents and I wanted to see me succeed, go to a good college, and have a good career. But the truth was, there was nothing that made me stand out amongst my peers and no one to help guide me in the right direction. This is why I started searching for tutors to get me in that right direction. However, there were many issues. Firstly, mentors that help with extracurricular projects are very, very pricey. They can cost thousands of dollars for just a few sessions, and regular tutors only provide help for grades. I'm not alone in this problem either. 25 million other students in the United States are at least one grade level behind in at least one subject. For those behind in school, tutoring has proven to be extremely effective. The average test score for a kid who gets tutored is 30 points higher than a kid who doesn't get tutored.
To help students like Ryan, we created TutorSphere. TutorSphere helps students at an affordable price, while other extracurricular mentors cost an arm and a leg, thousands of dollars, and only help high school students. While even just mentors for regular grade help can cost over $75 an hour, at TutorSphere, we keep all of our prices affordable, under $45 an hour for all of our sessions. And not only are our tutors affordable, but they're high quality too. We've got the cream of the crop tutors from Penn, Stanford, and Berkeley, all of whom have created unique extracurricular projects. For example, one of our tutors created a research report regarding the current financial state of orchestras and what they can do to improve. And this report was published in magazines as well as being presented at a symposium of over 200 people. As mentioned before, we don't just provide help with grades, but rather the complete package. Academic aid, help with extracurricular projects, and competition aid.
In the past 5 days alone, we've already onboarded 50 tutors to provide for these services. With our business model, a $40 session turns into a $10 profit for us. And this is all because of our 25% commission fee, which we have for every session booked. Our 25% commission fee is substantially lower than our competitors such as Varsity Tutors, TutorMe, and Wyzant. Take Varsity Tutors, for example, who has a 70% commission fee. Our lower commission fee incentivizes highly qualified tutors to join our website because they're bringing more money home. As well as our commission fee advantage, tutors match up with students a lot easier on our website. Take Wyzant, for example, where tutors have to market themselves on their website. At TutorSphere, we do the matching process ourselves for them.
There are 50 million K-12 students in the US alone, and half of them, 25 million, are struggling in at least one subject. Of this massive pie, our service obtainable market is the 3 million students who can both afford and desire our services. And this is a rapidly expanding market too, with a projected 18.5% year-over-year growth rate from 2023 to 2030. To capitalize on this, we're going to have 75 sessions booked on our website by the end of this month, which will be done via in-person and online advertising, in addition to utilizing our personal connections. This will expand to 250 sessions booked by October of this month, 600 sessions booked by December, and by February of 2024, we're going to have 1,000 sessions booked on our website. But how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to double the amount of tutors on the website every 2 months, as well as reach out to school districts to help get word about our product out there. To expedite this process, we're seeking $60,000 in investment. $12,000 will go towards operations, which includes things like website management and our salaries. Another 12,000 will go towards legal fees, which is mainly liability waivers. The final 36,000 will go towards marketing, which is mainly advertisements. This $60,000 will help us not only reach our goal of 1,000 sessions booked by February of 2024, but also help us diversify the amount of projects and subjects that we can help our students with. But why are we the people that you should invest in? Well, we all come from very different parts of the world. And as a result, we have diverse backgrounds and experiences regarding the tutoring markets across the globe. Furthermore, we all have tutored or have been tutored. And as a result, we've experienced the very same issues that we now seek to solve firsthand. As high schoolers, we know the target market, us, better than absolutely anybody else out there. Due to a combination of being so deeply affected by this issue and knowing the target market so well, we're the perfect people for this company.
In a nutshell, other tutoring services only provide help for grades, while mentors for extracurricular projects are just too damn expensive. At Tutorsphere, we combine all of this into an all-in-one service that is affordable and helps students encapsulate every aspect of a subject possible. With great tutoring and creating extracurricular projects, I was able to raise my GPA from a 2.8 to a 3.5 in just 2 years. With Tutorsphere, I can help students like me improve their grades, create extracurricular projects, and do all of this at a very affordable price. Thank you, and let's help students like me not just survive, but thrive in our academic journey.
Yeah, we can take questions from the judges.
I still don't get the differentiation. So if I'm a student or a parent and I go online and I search for, tutoring platforms, yeah, tons are going to come up. So I'm sort of hearing that there's grades versus extracurriculars, but especially if I'm looking at people who are helping prep for college, I'm sure an offering is, hey, stand out on your applications and your resume by doing these extracurriculars. So I wonder about that. And then let's talk about generative AI. So that's going to eat your lunch on price. What are you going to do?
So regarding the first point of just how our product differentiates from others, for those extracurricular services that you specifically mentioned, those can cost upwards of $5,000 in many cases, while we keep our sessions under $45 an hour. And those those companies target high school students specifically. And as a result, since we're expanding to K through 12 in general, we're able to reach a wider array of students. And then do you guys want to tackle the generative AI?
With generative AI, we still have a big gap to go into. So we still have a big margin to stand out with tutors, because right now generative AI is very unpredictable. It's not completely, it doesn't have complete feasibility. So you still have people that has the knowledge and have go with the path you want to go into to be the best you can.
So one question is, I'm curious, how do you, ensure, I guess, quality and also trust and safety, right? Because you're essentially like matching these students with, potential tutors.
Yeah, I can answer that. So basically, when tutors complete our form that they want to be a tutor, one of us will make sure that we'll interview them to make sure that they're a right fit.
On the Gen AI, I would challenge you on that. I think in weeks it can beat all those. The past 4 weeks, Gen AI can now cite and actually find, using Google Bard, actually combined with OpenAI, you can actually find actual information, then ask OpenAI to write things on that. But we can create a whole course actually on actual facts and actual data. So definitely faster. But my really question, I kind of go back to Danielle as well, is what is the differentiation? Because I keep hearing it's kind of, you keep going back to prices. Like it's almost like it's cheap. But then you keep going back to also like, hey, we teach you these extra curricular activities that no one else does, right? Are people coming to you for a price point, or is that the on the other side? Because there's a lot of tutors. If the price point is the one, right, is this varsity or something takes 75%. I don't know what they're doing with that kind of margin. But so are you selling price, and then you just come in and just learn whatever you have to, and you focus on volume, or is it the something else special?
Well, when regarding Sprite specifically, it's more regarding the extracurricular project mentors specifically who have exceptionally high prices. And as a result, we compete on that price point specifically. Whereas with other tutoring platforms, we compete on the fact that we offer a wider array of services while they simply help you boost grades.
But then do you have to offer that? I mean, if everyone else offers that to boost grades, why do you want to offer that service?
Yes, so when we're interviewing the tutors, we'll ask them to create with a plan to like help students be more rounded. For example, if a student want to get interested in the computer science pathway, we'll match them with a CS major tutor at like a top college, and they'll suggest that person maybe, for example, participate in a local competition that benefited her own journey. So, and also stay updated with the latest tech trends at the suggestion that they can give them, and also help with college applications.
So yeah, I guess I have kind of the same concern too. So I know we keep using the word tutor, but as we mentioned, it feels like when I look at this is everything almost like a college guidance counselor or would help with, or, you know, you can hire private ones. So I'm also, I guess, struggling with the differentiation as well.
Yeah, so yeah, just going back to that, I think that, you know, like there is the possibility for a college counselor to do this, but at least in my experience, my college counselors, like, because my family uses a private service, I mean, I'm from Manhattan, it's insanely expensive. I mean, my friend told me that her college counselor was $20,000 for 1 year, college consulting, and not everyone can afford to pay $20,000 to get into their choice of college. So while I think that there's quite a few differentiating factors that we have, the price point is really a big one. And because if you're paying $45 for one session with this person as opposed to $20,000 for a year with another person, then you can like choose how it goes, and also like it's way more affordable for people who can't afford it. Because like I've spoken to people about this, like this was an idea that I've had, and when I was talking to people about it, they're like, this is great because I can't afford to hire a college counselor. I like can't afford that, so this is something that I would want to use and I would need. Yeah.
One thing that I'm hearing a little bit is there might be some confusion around, is this tutoring or is this sort of like guidance counseling? And I think if this were pitched as guidance counseling for high schoolers by college students, that would maybe differentiate a little bit more, and just make it a bit more clear. And I think you're going to want to think about, like, yes, it's $45 an hour, but yeah, what's the average number of hours? Because comparing $45 an hour to $20,000 for a year, like, it's hard to compare apples to apples. I'm sure it's a lot cheaper, but you're going to want to dig into that a little bit more. I just had one question on the how do you vet for teaching quality? Because you can have someone who's brilliant in a space but has no idea how to talk to other people about it, especially people who don't understand.
Yeah, I can take that one. So when vetting for teaching quality, as part of the interview process, we have them teach their specific lesson to us. So on the form that they fill out, they will tell us what exactly they intend to teach and what grade level they are comfortable teaching, as well as their qualifications. So we have them basically create a model lesson plan and then teach one of those lessons to us. And we pretend to be the student. We ask them questions. Since we're the target market, we know what we're looking for. So we're able to ask them the questions that any student in the target market would see. And then we're able to grade them based on how we would want to be tutored.
Do you know your margins on that? I mean, you booked 18 sessions, right? And made $750, right? What is the margin on each session?
So on each session, we make 25% commission. So for the $765, it rounds out to about $40 a session, and the $10 profit that was seen.
Okay.
Do you know your, I guess, cost to acquire a qualified teacher or tutor, right? Yeah, what's the cost there? And then also cost to acquire a student.
So, regarding the cost to acquire, tutors specifically, it's normally tutors are looking for something like this because with our service, they make a lot more commission than they would on sites such as Varsity Tutors, which takes like a 75% commission. So off of this, they're able to make a bit more than they would on sites like Varsity Tutors. And generally on the cost to acquire a tutor currently, it's about currently it's mostly been via like in-person and online advertising. So I'd put it around $5 to $10 a tutor for as highly qualified as possible. Like Berkeley students that have gone through like multiple examinations who are in like their final years of college.
Any other questions?
I guess the last question is if the price point is the attraction to the platform, right? Like anyone wants to use it because it's cheap. That means if you're going to compete with other expensive platforms, how fast can you grow? Have you tested anything that's like you can beat with speed of execution on the marketing side, right? So do you already have a plan in place? You've been like doing this for a while, like a couple of weeks that maybe, I don't know, SEO, word of mouth, or some referral networks, whatever that is. I mean, do you have anything in place that you think can just make it grow super fast before others can drop their prices and maybe compete with you and offer better margins to these teachers?
Yeah, so one thing we've already begun to do is collaborate with school districts. We've reached out to our personal school district connections as well as emailing our school districts. And then we already have one school district lined up for someone that would want to partner with us and kind of just get the program more out there. And then other ways we're doing it include things like advertisements, in-person flyers, and things of that nature around highly populated areas such as Manhattan and Berkeley that would specifically look for services such as this.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Arshia, and I'm a co-founder at Demeter Delivered, a subscription box for CBD self-care products. Finding the right self-care products is hard. Just ask Shivang.
Growing up with acne, I tried everything. From Korean skincare to TikTok skincare, I tried it all, but nothing seemed to work for me. At the end of it, I was left with half-used bottles and diminished hope. That was until I found CBD.
Wait, CBD? Can't that get you high?
Great question. That's exactly what my mom asked me in the same worried tone. But just as I assured her, CBD is not a drug and it can't get you high. As a matter of fact, CBD is often misunderstood. It's a safe plant extract offering countless health benefits. It's a muscle relaxant, it has anti-inflammatory properties, and what was most important for me is that it reduced my excessive oil production.
At Demeter Delivered, we make it easy, fun, and risk-free for you to try CBD-infused body, hair, and skincare products. We simply ship you samples of popular products from various different brands, and if you love them, you can buy the full-size versions at exclusive member discounts that you can't find anywhere else. And guess what? Our business model is just as good as our product. We make money in 3 ways. First, when a customer purchases an individual box at $90, we make a revenue of $40. Second, when the customer purchases a subscription plan, they get their first 3 boxes at a 20% discount. And assuming that that same subscriber comes back for at least 9 more months, we make on average $300 per year per customer. And third, when a customer purchases a full-size product from our website, we make a 10% commission on the sale. Most importantly, however, we have real demand. We made $845 in just 3 days. And based on our market size, we've got so much more room to grow. The US CBD beauty sector is booming with an annual growth of 31.5%. From a valuation of $379 million this year, the US CBD beauty sector is projected to skyrocket to $8.9 billion by 2030. The bad news is CBD is a stigmatized ingredient. But the good news is CBD is a stigmatized ingredient, which gives us a running start against big marketplaces who won't put CBD on their shelves.
But that doesn't mean we don't have any competition. We're going head to head with the biggest players like Sephora, Ulta Beauty, and Dermstore. But we uniquely offer a specialized product discovery experience. Now, as we all know, the Christmas shopping experience is the most wonderful time for retail sales, and our immediate action is to maximize on the seasonal demand surge at the end of the fourth quarter by focusing on two main priorities. Priority number one, product diversification, and priority number two, our marketing efforts. Now, this will be executed by raising $70,000, which will enable us to generate $225,000 of revenue in our first year as a business. Keyword, profitably. $40,000 will be spent on product diversification, $15,000 will cover our insurance costs, and the rest of our money will be spent on our influencer marketing campaign. Our team's passion and deep understanding of the CBD beauty market position us perfectly to revolutionize self-care. From struggling with acne and product overload to achieving clear skin with our boxes, we want to redefine the self-care journey with your help. Thank you, and let's make CBD self-care the norm, one subscription box at a time.
Is there something in the box? All right, cool. How fun. I have a bunch of different questions. How many partnerships have you formed to get sample sizes, and how many of these companies already have sample sizes that you could sell? Is sample size even actually, like the smaller ones, that important? And then the other question I have is like, I could see this being fun for a few months and then thinking like, oh cool, like I've got the products I like now, and then kind of feeling like done with the subscription service, because how many different CBD products do you need?
So to answer your first question about partnerships, we've partnered with about 12 different brands at the moment, and we've reached out to many more. And then for your question on why they would stay because of our discounts. So our whole goal is to help our customers find products, but once they've found those products, we want them to have those discounts so that they keep coming back to us, and with those discounts, we're also earning.
Additionally, because subscription box have a higher churn rate, we're aiming to bring them back with exclusive discounts. And especially for sample sizes, we're trying to encourage sustainability. So one problem Shivonk had was a lot of excess products, full-size plastic packaging laying around his house. So with our monthly subscription box of sample sizes, you can try products and find what works for your skin.
I mean, you mentioned like, we help you find the product. Is there anything special about the discovery for each user, right? Like what's special? Is it just a bunch of companies with different products, or?
Yeah, so finding new products, especially for me, was honestly really difficult because you have to do your research. And CBD is not really the first thing that comes to a consumer's mind, and we're trying to change that. We're trying to make it that their first option is let's discover new products and let's find what works for me.
But the question really is, I mean, CBD is given, right? I mean, if I land on this site, I mean, if you got me, right? Through some marketing, some or whatever. I mean, I know this is CBD, but what's special for me? Is there any discovery engine that takes in the data that I input, right? You ask me these questions that no one else is asking about acne and whatnot and skin, whatever that is, right? I say, hey, we know you and we have this special product for you, just for you. I mean, is there anything like that? What makes you special?
Specialized directly, no, but we're planning that for every month our box will focus on something new. So let's say for 1 month you'd like to focus on dry skin, you can go for that. And if you're not interested in focusing on dry skin, we also have our body and hair boxes to also choose from.
Yeah, I guess to add on to that, as someone, or I am very into skincare, but right, a lot of it is so specialized. Are you struggling with acne? Do you have hyperpigmentation? Do you have dry skin, oily skin, combination skin? And so I think, specifically for facial products, like maybe that would be good to, integrate into your discovery and also help you stand out in a sense. Another thing that kind of comes to mind is someone, I'm like, oh, this is such a cool idea. But I think especially gifting is something to think about, right? I don't know if you offer that option yet, but gifting someone this subscription, or especially I was thinking around holidays, as you mentioned, right? Like it could be a really cool opportunity as well. Because I guess, as I think about sharing products, it's like maybe my friend is not sure about CBD, but I'm cool with it. It's also kind of a maybe more organic referral process in a sense.
Well, that's why we're trying to expedite the process and capitalize on the increased consumer demand during the holiday season. So a lot of our roadmap includes marketing, a lot of influencer partnerships. So we're hoping to reach out to their target audience and expand our fan base before the holiday season.
I mean, I don't know if this is a fun thing you would do. I mean, I know these are like boxes filled with different types of products, and I'm like, hey, this is amazing. But you said it takes 9 months to get the money back. I mean, right? To take 9 months to make any real money on this product, right?
No.
I mean, how long do you need the consumer to stay, on the subscription cycle? Is it 4 months, 3 months? So the fund ends at some point, right? Even if it's I'm sure it's going to be more than 4 months to recover the money, right?
Oh, no, actually, for a $90 individual box, we make a $40 profit. So.
But because you haven't spent a dime to acquire the customer yet, right?
Yeah, and in the future, when we do get into marketing, our projected CAC is around $15, $20. So we're still going to be generating some kind of profit over because our CAC is lower than our customer lifetime value projected. The numbers could change, though.
Are there competitors in the space who are doing something similar, selling a CBD box? And then my second question is just on the logistics of getting the products, boxing up the product, shipping it back out. Let's talk through that.
Okay, so for competitors, there are many other CBD subscription boxes, but where we are different is in the fact that all those subscription boxes are an individual brand. We are bringing multiple brands together so that you get a broad selection. Aggregate. And then for our shipping and boxing, at the moment we're doing it all on our own. But if we were to expand more, we would look into more of our third-party logistics and look into warehousing. The larger your customer size is, of course, it's going to be cheaper. So we would hold off on that until we have a larger demand for it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joanna, a co-founder of PebbleMap, an AI-powered mind mapping tool. Let me tell you all a story. Last year, I had to write a 20-page paper for my AP research class. The hardest part, though, was, the start. I knew I wanted to talk about social media and mental health, but I kept getting stuck. I would look at a blank screen for hours on end with no progress. At that moment, all I wanted was a tool where I could type in my topic and have it instantly generate a list of ideas that I could write about. And this was the genesis of PebbleMap.
PebbleMap is an AI-powered mind mapping tool designed to help students brainstorm and build upon their research ideas. Let's take a look at a demo of our product. When Joanna first visits the PebbleMap site, she enters social media and mental health and is met almost instantly with relevant topics and questions that will allow her to dive deeper into her areas of interest. This gives Joanna exposure to new ideas and thought processes that she could have never imagined alone, enhancing her creativity and opening up her mind to new ways of thinking. As Joanna continues to develop her idea, she's able to reorganize the boxes to best fit her train of thought, and also enter in her own topics to expand upon. This process is extremely efficient, as Joanna can go from a short-form prompt to an entire research paper outline in just seconds, all powered by a single line of text. The three key components that PebbleMap offers are enhanced creativity, customization, and efficiency, which lead the user to saving time and writing more. Now let's talk about how we're going to profit off this. Our business model is freemium, where the free version is targeted towards students, and our premium model is geared towards more higher-end customers, like research teams, with advanced features like the ability to share and collaborate with others, and also save your past work for $15 a month. We also plan on expanding to use paid ads as another source of revenue once we gain 1,000 monthly users. We're proud to announce that PebbleMap's got legs. In under 6 days, we've generated over 500 unique visitors to our site. Our product might be great, but is there even a market for it? Well, the global market size for researchers is worth $84 billion. Narrowing that market down to just academic researchers, it amounts to $10 billion. And the specific market that we're targeting, which are college and high school age students and researchers, that market is worth $1.5 billion.
In this market, we have quite a few competitors such as Whimsical, Miro, and Gitmine, all of which lack organization and relevant AI feedback. This pushes users towards more traditional methods of brainstorming such as Google Docs and handwritten notes. Unlike them, PebbleMap is specifically engineered to provide users with inspiration rather than providing them with strictly answer-based responses. But that's not it. By the end of 2023, we plan to finish developing our premium version. By end of Q1 2024, we'll start running ads on our platform, and by Q2 2024, we'll be partnering with educational institutions. In order to achieve this faster, we'll be asking for $80,000 to split between operations, marketing, and legal fees. Meet the team behind PebbleMap. We're a well-rounded group of individuals with a strong dynamic. Not only are we building this tool, but we are the target market. We understand this problem firsthand and are building a solution that truly works. So what can you do with PebbleMap? Well, the possibilities are endless. For example, you can go from a spark of an idea to absolutely nailing a VC pitch, like we just did. That was our PebbleMap. What's yours? Thank you.
Well, this is super cool, actually. Everything AI powered, yes. I didn't see anything towards the cost allocated to the development of the product. I mean, you're building an AI powered company, right? So yeah, just how do you plan to do that?
Yeah, so our operation costs, so we're dedicating $40,000 over $50,000 towards operations for a software developer that can help us launch this website and make the features.
I guess as you were showing, there we go. As you were showing the competitors, I guess one thing that came to mind is, what if Miro just adds, or Mind Map is another side of it. It's like, what if those just start adding AI prompting?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So in terms of defensibility, they technically could. But our key differentiation factor is that with something like Miro, it's so general. There's it's mind map for collaborations, for teams, for just organizing just other things in general, whereas we specifically focus on research, and that's why our prompt engineering is best suited for it. Because we're not, right now, if you go on Miro, it has a lot of different directions you can go, and because it's specifically, it's targeted for everyone, and therefore it's really hard to solve the specific pain point of research that our AI mind map can cover.
This is very cool. I'm sucked into your product right now.
Thank you.
Very, very neat. $15 a month though feels just intuitively a little expensive right off the cuff. I'm curious where you came up with that number.
Yeah, so basically for our premium model, we're not done developing that yet. So we're kind of playing around with what kind of features, and I think we have to first like get our product out there with our free version to see what users really value, and then we can cater our premium offerings towards that. So we do plan on like playing around with it a little bit, and it's not set in stone.
Do you know any idea about the what the churn would look like? Why would people come back to use the product, and how long would they use it?
Sorry, are you asking about like?
Yeah, like maybe a simple question is, how long do you think they're going to use the service once they sign up for the premium plan?
I can answer that question. So research requires a lot of topics, subtopics, and information that has to be in those, like in the general like body paragraphs. And so our targeting is for like researchers in general,
so
right?
How many months? I'm sorry, how many months do you think they're going to use your premium membership?
Well, research can be like broad. They can have like multiple papers that are happening at the same time. So technically they could use our product for as long as they would want.
I think to put it into perspective, for me personally, when I do like school, I think I have like an English and like history, and there's a lot of classes that I have to write the essays for. So specifically for students, especially during the school year, it would be constantly a tool that me personally, I would be able to use.
Yes, school year.
Sorry about that. That was very convoluted.
So in terms of, I guess, your target customer, target segment, is it high school students, middle school students, college students, academic, professional researchers?
I think right now we're focusing more on high school students and maybe college students, but we want to expand more to professionals once we have developed the premium version.
Great. Any final questions?
I just love this. I just gotta let you all know, like, this is so neat. It feels like a better sort of Wikipedia for the ADHD brain of like, little snippets of interesting things. And would love to talk to your team more about what you're building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nakshatra.
And I'm Min.
And
we are
Social
SocialCourse,
Course.
an intuitive social media platform for small businesses utilizing walkthroughs and consultants. An astounding 110,000 restaurants in the US closed from 2020 to 2023 alone. And in fact, 80% of restaurants don't even make it through their first 5 years of operation. Now, everyone should be allowed to pursue their passion, but functioning in such highly saturated markets is difficult, and talent and grit won't get you there alone. So what makes the 20% of these restaurants stand out? The answer lies in social media. Meet Jennifer Lay, whose restaurant was struggling to gain customers during the COVID-19 pandemic. On the brink of bankruptcy and homelessness, Jennifer desperately posted this video on TikTok with zero expectations. But her unique combination of short-form video, trending audio, text on screen, and appealing to emotion, and more, catapulted this video to the top, gaining hundreds of thousands of interactions and tens of thousands of impressions. Now, this 7-second video not only changed Jennifer and her family's business, but their lives. And the question is, how can every small business mobilize social media as their #1 growth tool? The answer certainly doesn't lie in Google. This is the first article when I searched up how to use hashtags. An 18-minute tedious read containing information completely irrelevant to small businesses today. And YouTube faces a similar problem with paid and unreliable content as well as old and outdated ones. It's no wonder that 70% of small businesses are extremely frustrated with the learning curve associated with social media, one of the main reasons it is not adopted as a growth tool today. As a digital marketer and micro-influencer, I've spent the nitty-gritty hours of work to learn to build accounts from the ground up. And we have taken this and combined it into short-form video that is SocialCourse today. Our video walkthroughs are screen recorded, making it intuitive and easy for every small business owner to follow along with us and master a social media feature in under 5 minutes. And we're working on a new UI we hope to implement by Q4 of this year that makes learning adaptable for every single business and instructs them on which videos to watch next. We also have 2 consultants, myself and Sienna Burdan, a full-time digital marketer, to make SocialCourse the one-stop for small businesses with all types of needs, small and large. We're glad to say that our results have already shown through. One of our consulting clients, Mizuki Tokyo, has grown from 0 to 6 figures completely online. And a mom and pop shop in San Jose, California, has reported a $1,900 revenue increase above their daily median in just one day after using our influencer marketing tool and a consulting meeting.
As our clients grow, so does our market. The global social media market is valued at $230 billion, while the US social media market is valued at $80 billion. But the core market that we're targeting is the $14 billion US restaurant advertising market. We've earned $335 in just 5 days. And our business model is two-pronged, based on subscription and consulting. For subscription, clients can pay us $14.99 to access our videos. And for consulting, we take a 20% commission off of all consulting services that we offer. For the 30-minute session, we take a $9 commission. For the 1-hour session, we take a $24 commission. And for the 1-month plan session, we take a $150 commission. As for our team is the perfect team to execute this because we not only have digital marketers, but we also have people who are skilled in web design and B2B marketing. Next is our ask. We ask for $19,000, $4,000 of which are going into our media management, $5,000 of which are going into our paid ads and advertising, and $10,000 of which will go into our operations, including our salaries. Our roadmap is that by Q4 of 2023, we plan to have our new roadmaps initiative and have $500 in monthly subscription revenue. By Q1 of 2024, we plan to have onboarded 4 full-time consultants and have $1,000 in monthly subscription revenue. Finally, by Q2 of 2024, we plan to have $2,000 of monthly subscription revenue and have launched our new case studies initiative.
In summary, Social Course is easy, intuitive, and comfortably delivered for every small business. We use less time to generate more results, and we have been guiding businesses from start to finish, from the brink of failure to brimming with success. Thank you, and let's empower every small business together.
I have a question about how you plan to scale your consultants, and then I'm also curious how you differentiate from the business owners who want to work on their own social media versus, like, what I've noticed talking to small business owners is they're like, yeah, I would love to do social media, but they don't want to do it. They want someone else to come in and do it for them.
That's precisely right. And for your first question of scaling consultants, right now we focus on F&B because our perfect consumer is a restaurant. They're extremely capital intensive, and they also have low time, but it's also very overly saturated, so they need social media services. In terms of, so we'll be expanding into, for example, we've got a lot of demand from beauty, like nail salons, hair care, and we're going to expand to digital marketers and influencers there as well. In terms of what you're saying about businesses reluctant to do it themselves, absolutely, that's right. And often it's a compromise between either cost or time. And we try to actually solve both of these pain points because we truly believe that you are the best person to execute your marketing strategy yourself. Meaning that you know your business, you know your ethos, you know what your brand is, and you can really show that through social media without spending the $6,700 of monthly cost associated with the digital marketer in the San Francisco Bay Area, and without dropping socials entirely.
One thing I was curious about, that was a great profile at the beginning of the pitch. Do you have any long-term metrics? And you had a great metric of the 1900 median went up for that one day. But I wonder about staying power with these things of how much do they need to do to get that average to kind of start averaging out to a higher dimension, and what could they expect?
I feel there's no specific metric for it. It's something, when we talk about marketing for small businesses, it's something which happens through virality, usually, like the increase in revenue. It's not something which we can measure. But I feel that through our consulting sessions and by understanding the new features that have come up on social media, they'll be able to promote, they'll be able to create content on their own, and probably through the consulting sessions, we can help them as to how can they make it viral, thereby increasing their revenue.
But do you have actual numbers from the case study you presented at the beginning? Because it sounds good, but I want to know what happened.
So the number from Jennifer Lay's restaurant. So yes, she was basically she started her socials with this one TikTok, and she actually just created her restaurant socials, which gained 2,000 followers. But I truly, I think that our entire group was discussing this, and we believe that followers is, in a sense, a vanity metric. What really translates is their amount of revenue they're getting, the link clicks they're getting, etc. And she has seen enormous success, as we said, a complete turnaround from her failure to literally a brimming at capacity. Yeah.
I have a question. So this consulting, is it like a playbook? So, because if you hire more consultants, then do they give their own advice based on their own experiences, or you have a playbook and each consultant is trained to sort of deliver that playbook to each client, almost like a consistency or?
Right. So the first 2 sessions, the half an hour and the 1 hour sessions, it's mostly about the customers asking the questions about what the problems they are facing and we answering those questions. But the 1 month plan that we are trying to, the $750 plan is more about planning the whole month for them, creating content with them, giving them those ideas. And because we are Gen Z, we know how to create viral content. And because we have experience in that field, so probably creating with them, what posts can they come up and all the ideas we'll be giving them.
So I guess the follow-up is, I noticed you mentioned a lot of kind of Bay Area business, and in terms of content creation, you may have to even go on site, right, if these owners aren't having time. I guess I'm curious about your, scaling strategy with that, if it requires in-person, consulting.
Right. So right now, our focus is more about understanding our clients more and improving through feedback, because it's more like a service business, at least the consulting business. So we'll have to improvise. So that is why our initial plan is not to grow it extraordinarily fast. It's to have those sessions, understand what the pain points of the customers are, and right now we are trying to grow through Facebook ads. And yeah, that's our scaling strategy as of now.
To directly address your question, no, we're not considering in-person consulting. We've held all of our meetings on Zoom, which is actually highly efficient because we also use screen recording to show what analytics you're going to be looking at, how you create this post. And we've found that the screen recording function for our walkthroughs is very intuitive, because you can actually see what buttons we're clicking and they can just follow along right there. It's not like a video where you have to watch it, then you have to go on your phone and figure it out after. You do it with us, and that's one way we've seen that our feedback is that the content is the most consumable form. Yeah.
Do you think the cost is going to go up? Because I think the big challenge might be, first month is amazing, hand-holding, you have the content, the second month comes, you feel like, this is too much. Should I hire a freelancer? Should I hire a full-time marketing person? And that's the cost I wasn't as a small business thinking about.
Addressing that exact problem, that's why we're approaching the new UI with the roadmap mechanism, because something we noticed is that small business owners, they don't want to do this. Unlike people who are doing Coursera, they're people who are not interested to learn this and just want the results. So that's why we're trying to make our platform as intuitive as possible, so that they can just follow along with us as if with a blindfold and do whatever skills that we teach them and get the results immediately.
We also expect our churn rate to be exceptionally low, because we are constantly innovating on new content. Social media is always changing, and so are we. We're going to be constantly updating our videos. We're also using weekly newsletters to update business owners, and we may also tap into their fear of missing out on learning about these new features to keep them returning.
I mean, if you really do this, I'd love to chat afterwards.
Absolutely, that would
we
be
can power our APIs and and fund it.
That would be great.
Absolutely,
Thank you so
that would
much.
be amazing.
Great, thank you.
Hi, my name is Mithil, and this is Ella. We're two of the co-founders of Boxmate, where we're revolutionizing the advertising industry by turning takeout boxes into a canvas for brands.
Meet Kea. She's the founder of SwayPay, a VC-backed cashback app for Gen Z consumers. With VCs constantly breathing down her neck, she's under a time crunch to deliver results and fast. So she tried online advertising, but quickly found that she wasn't reaching her target market. And that's because 99% of Gen Z consumers skip ads when it's an option, and nearly 2/3 use ad blockers. So she went the more traditional route and tried billboards. But she was investing mass amounts of money for very little return on that investment. She realized that SwayPay needs a game-changing solution, one that Gen Z consumers won't ignore. And we think we found that solution when we talked to Bob.
Bob's the general manager of Sizzling Lunch, a staple restaurant right here in downtown Berkeley. Now, when we met Bob, he told us that one thing makes his heart sink, and that's when he sees his annual $20,000 bill on food packaging alone.
But what if there's a way to change Kea and Bob's narrative? We think that change is here at Boxmate.
At Boxmate, we're turning Kea's advertising pain into Bob's financial gain in a process that's simple for everyone. It starts with Kea purchasing advertising space from Boxmate, and we handle the rest for her. We print out her ads and put them on takeout containers that we then give for free to restaurants like Bob's. And Bob then distributes those to his customers, helping Kea in just one move reach over 45,000 potential new customers at UC Berkeley.
But Bob and Kea aren't the only ones benefiting. We make money too. In just 1 week, we've generated $1,000 in revenue. When we sell advertisers a batch of 1,000 boxes, it costs them $880. Once including how much it takes us to make these boxes, we profit about $570. An advertiser gets 4,000 impressions with this batch, which ends up being 7 times more impressions than they would get with direct mail, our next closest competitor.
Our solution's great for any advertiser, and the only thing stopping us now is people not using takeout containers. But it doesn't look like that's gonna happen anytime soon, with the food delivery market expected to grow at a rate of almost 15% over the next 5 years. And not only are we introducing a new product into a great market, how are we so confident that it's gonna work? Well, similar solutions have been implemented before in adjacent markets. For example, take Toppers. They put flyers on pizza boxes, and it's working great for them. They even recently made a partnership with a couple Domino's locations. Or take Amazon even, who ran an experiment last year where they put advertisements on delivery boxes, and they found that this method of advertising was 4 times more effective than traditional media.
These are some newer solutions, but let's see how Boxmate stacks up against already established competitors. Radio ads, they lack a visual component. Direct mail and billboard are high effort upfront from the advertiser with very low impact. Free water falls victim to ad saturation with multiple advertisements per water bottle. But Boxmate, we're the Goldilocks of the print advertising industry. Just right. We combine low effort upfront from the advertiser with high impact impressions, all made possible because of the longevity and visibility of our takeout containers.
So what's our game plan? Well, next week we're launching right here at UC Berkeley, perfectly timed for the back to school rush. And then from there, by the end of the year, we're on our way to expand our product lineup so that we can meet every single restaurant's takeout needs. And then by the end of Q1 of next year, we're on our way to expand beyond the Bay Area to other emerging markets.
So to make this happen, we're asking for $100,000. A large portion of this will go towards expanding our pilot program to the broader SF Bay Area, and another portion towards exploring options for infrastructure that will allow us to better handle large orders from advertisers. But we all know that money only gets us so far. It's our team with extreme passion and youthful energy that makes us able to stand out, let alone our hundreds of connections with advertisers and restaurants in the local area.
So at Boxmate, we're doing more than just putting advertisements on takeout containers. We're connecting brands and consumers in the most efficient way possible, all while helping restaurants cut their costs and increase their profits.
So we're creating a win-win-win situation for everyone involved. So let's help more business owners like Kea reach their target market.
And more restaurant owners like Bob grow their business.
One takeout box at a time.
Hold on. Oh, these are super cool. Love the win-win-win idea. I guess the first question I have is, you mentioned that, I guess you could have mentioned the number of impressions, but I'm curious about the conversion. Did you actually do a campaign with SwayPay and Sizzling Lunch? Like, what sales or new customer acquisition did that convert into, or do you have any kind of metrics on that?
Well, so we are actually running a campaign with SwayPay in a week from now. So currently we don't have any exact conversion data, but as we've shown with other proof of concept marketing strategies, we have a high likelihood of having a great conversion.
That's great that you're going to be collecting that data. How do you keep a moat on this?
Could you elaborate on that question, please?
So I can print a sticker at home. I can do this. Anyone could start this business. It's an awesome idea. But how do you, when people catch on and go, holy moly, this is brilliant, how do you keep other people from doing it?
So our current differentiating factor is our network in the Bay Area. Currently, we're partnered with a bunch of restaurants here, and we're looking to get many more in the Bay Area and take over the Bay Area market before expanding further.
One more question. If I am an advertiser, is there something where maybe there's some logistics that come into play here? Like if I'm a restaurant and you give me a bunch of boxes and there's 5 different ads on different boxes, but me as the person who wants the ad, I'm like, no, I want 100% of my ads on there. They're like premium pricing in terms of, hey, the SwayPay is the only box that's going out right now versus, having other people's ads in the box or like in your, bag of food.
So one thing that we want to emphasize is that some of our competitors like Free Water have a lot of ad saturation, which means that there's multiple ads on one bottle. And that's bad because we want people to hone in and focus on that one ad right there. As Sahil talked about, we really emphasize and prioritize quality relationships with each and every one of our restaurants and advertisers, and we believe that'll enable us to grow an expansive network across the Bay Area. And in doing so, we can provide advertisers with tons of breadth within their geographical target so that they can be advertised on multiple different restaurants, but we'll never put multiple ads on one takeout box. It'll always be that one ad will be grabbing that consumer's attention.
And to add on to what Sophia was saying, we also do have one-on-one conversations with the advertisers. So if they're like, hey, we just want to be in these 2 restaurants and we want to be the only 2 boxes, with our network, we can accommodate that request.
Do you have any lock-ins? I think great question. I can go and say, hey, I'm going to give you boxes for free, and I'll give you $1,000 on top of it. I have the money, and so they shouldn't work with you guys and work with me actually. So the price, the cost, because I'm pitching a cost, right? If SwayPay saying, hey, I pay 10 cents per box, I don't know, whatever the cost is, right? So you have a fixed cost and you make a margin and then you pay the restaurant the free boxes, and I can increase that margin or decrease your margin for you.
Sure. So as for our pricing, we charge 22 cents per impression and 88 cents per box.
It doesn't matter though. The question is really how do you lock in that price, right? I'm saying you're saying that, hey, you're going to go to the Bay Area, you have the network, I have the money. You might have the network. I'm going to go in, hey, I saw your boxes actually. I love it. I'm also an advertiser. I'm going to give you $2,000 on top of the free boxes. I want to work with you and not you. They should cancel the partnership with you guys and work with me because I'm giving them cash plus the boxes.
We understand your concern, but in response, I think we have considered paying the restaurant to put the ad on our box, but we believe that from an advertiser's perspective, we charge much less than similar competitors as Free Water for seemingly better conversion rates. So we think there's really no reason for the advertiser to leave with us, to stop working with us.
I don't think it's, but maybe the next question would be attribution, I guess, right? What's special about the tech? I think is I know SwayPay would do a campaign. Let's say I do a campaign. How do I know if this is even working? I can just toss a box in a trash can and never actually scan the barcode of what happens.
So as you can see, on each and every box, there is a QR code. And we have analytic technology where we have an analytics dashboard. So each advertiser would actually be given a dashboard where they can see the time and location of each scan. So they can track to which restaurants are actually generating the most scans. And you can track the successfulness of each and every campaign. So that's how you would see like if your ads are actually working.
And that could also help us bring in more advertisers in the future and help bring them back, because if they see that it's working successfully or it's working at specific restaurants, then the next campaign can even be better if we just focus on those specific restaurants.
I have a couple of questions. One is, they're both logistics. One is, and silly question, but this container is recyclable. Is it still recyclable with the sticker on it? And then in addition, walk me through the logistics of getting the stickers on the boxes and then getting the boxes to the restaurants.
Yeah, so definitely, that's a great question. The stickers are still recyclable even with the stickers on it. And since we are a rather new startup, we are doing all of the labor manually. So we actually print all of the stickers in our apartments, attach it onto the boxes, and then we have a driver who delivers it to them. But as we do scale, we're going to look into third-party manufacturing and getting our costs down as well.
So I think both of the other judges brought this up, right, with the moat, and then also, hey, what if I go and offer you cash too? I guess, what if SwayPay decides, I just want to work directly with Sizzling Lunch? I guess, or, let's cut out the middle person. How do you kind of, I guess, protect yourselves against that?
Well, one thing is so many companies don't have the time to do that. What's very unique about our innovative solution is that we're making it as easy and low effort for the advertiser as possible. Additionally, many businesses, they want breadth. They don't just want to work with one restaurant, they want to work with multiple restaurants within that area. For example, we were just in contact with the fitness business that wants all these different restaurants within Albany to place their advertisements on. So what we do is we're going to build strong relationships with multiple restaurants that span the Bay Area, and that'll enable advertisers to have a really wide breadth, not just working with one sole restaurant.
So let's say you're, the fitness company, they say, I want to do a 1-week campaign, several thousand units across this many restaurants, but you're also running multiple campaigns. How do you make sure you actually fill that inventory, you get those impressions and coordinate? Because I imagine, I'm in the restaurant, I have 10 stacks of these different boxes, I'm just, filling orders. How do you actually ensure that's fulfilled?
Yeah, so as previously mentioned, the analytics dashboard is really good because you can actually track each and every box. So if you see that your statistics are going down, you're not generating as many impressions or click-through rates, then you know that they're not actually going out. So we can actually track everything, and we are always in contact with restaurant managers to make sure our quality is delivered to every advertiser.
So it's kind of like or you would be monitoring your dashboard and seeing it's not going out, and then you would follow up.
Well, we can see the dashboard, and we also provide the dashboard to advertisers as well. So you can monitor your campaign while we do monitor all the analytics and track the data to make sure your campaign is working and meeting the standards that we aim to provide.
And also, like Alan said, we're not just like some big corporation that works a 9-to-5 jobs and just wants to complete that one transaction. We really want to prioritize being in constant communication with the restaurants and advertisers because we want to build the relationships and the strong network that no other advertising company can copy us.
I guess the last thing, I really just is like a more feedback. I think you should really think about the tech actually. I think advertising means a lot of attribution issues actually. A lot of people can go and maybe do the partnership and whatnot, but I think as a company or as an advertiser, I want to make sure I have clear funneling, what's working, what's not working, and activation as well. Boxes are easy. I think the hard part might be the tech side.
Great, thank you very much. Awesome. And that was the last team. Cool. So what's going to happen now is the judges and myself will go to a separate room, a war room, to talk about what happened, talk about the traction, the pitch, the story behind every team, and then they're going to make a decision. Afterwards, the judges will come here on stage and announce the most outstanding company and announce the best pitch. We're gonna take around 10 to 15 minutes, so use this time as a break for, get some water that we have for you, some appetizers, and anything that, like a bathroom break and all of that, okay? We'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes.
I think they would have to figure it out a little bit, but I was like, it's interesting. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I was like, in high school, I don't think I could. Yeah.
Now, the judges have reached a decision. It was tough. It was literally tough. Everyone did great. Everyone did an amazing job. And we hope that what's going to happen here is just feedback. You're not going to receive a $1 million check. We keep that $1 million check. So it's just another type of feedback, okay? It's just another punch of reality so that it kickstarts you into the real world. May I welcome the judges, please, on stage.
All right. So wonderful to be here this morning. I take about 4 to 7 pitch meetings a day, and I judge competitions all the time. And these are the best pitches I've heard in a long time, and not just student pitches, but pitches, period. There was high energy and engagement, and you're actually working on those things that I didn't expect, because sometimes you go to these competitions and people pitch something and you say, what's under the hood? And they say nothing. And it's like, bummer. Or someone's working on something really interesting and they're not clear about how to be confident and outspoken about it. So really, really wonderful pitches today. I am going to be presenting for the best pitch for us. Ready? Let's get a little drum roll going. Perfect. That team is Demeter Delivered. Yeah. We love the energy, the engagement, love the audience participation. It was such a fun pitch. So thank you, team. And now handing off for best company.
Yeah, so I guess before I reveal the best company, we were just so impressed by all of the hands-on work that you've done in 4 weeks, from ideation to execution, just really blown away. And for this specific company, let's have a little drum roll for most outstanding company. It was a hard decision, but it's Boxmate. Woo! So yeah, congratulations to the team. We just love that, how hands-on you were. You're telling us you're printing stickers in your room. It's going to FedEx, meeting with the restaurant owner. I've gone to Sizzling Lunch a few times in South Bay, so I was very impressed. I was like, oh, that's great. Awesome idea, and we were just excited to see you bring it to life. So great work.
And we're also going to just give some general observations and feedback that we have that we noticed maybe across teams.
Yeah, I guess, listen, it was great. Being on stage and pitching and practicing and covering, right, that all the slides from traction to the idea to the money and revenue and whatnot was amazing. And I think the only thing I know, I kept kind of going after the numbers. Starting is hard. Building is even harder, I think. But I think actually scaling it and making it work is the hardest thing you ever gonna do. So I think kind of focusing on your numbers, like what does it cost? How much do I make? What if I scale? How does it work actually, right? And how do I scale this business is very important. I think some of you just had no idea what the numbers are. So I think if you can really spend more time on the numbers, actually, so it makes people think that, hey, you know what, you've thought about these edge cases, thought about how this is going to play out. So you know with the money you're raising, how to spend that money, right? Because if you have no idea, you have sort of this money sitting around that you have no idea how to spend that and how to scale your business and actually build a business. But definitely great job overall.
Yeah, to add on there, one thing I see Jay always asks about that I ask about too is, customer acquisition costs. So you probably noticed us asking that. So something to think about going forward. I guess first I'll just say I'm just so blown away by how much you built and accomplished in the past 4 weeks. And, getting up here on a stage and giving a talk to judges and everyone else, and maybe even some of your parents or family is really scary. So huge kudos to you. I'm so impressed by public speaking, confidence, enthusiasm, and then also just the ideas and research themselves. I think my main feedback would be, as a product person, really think about what is the kind of thinnest version of your minimum viable product, or MVP, or sometimes we say minimum lovable product. What is that, and what are your hypotheses, and what experiments can you run to really validate and test that? And one example I'll give is we're kind of pushing on, community earlier. It's like, what can you test without investing engineering resources, right? Like, can you go have a conversation? Can you, use another tool to get your answer and see if it's worth investing in? I will also say that I guess as a judge, seeing the product brought to life, or the prototype, was amazing. We got to see a bunch of physical products. We got to see some product demos. I actually think it's great when some teams show it even earlier in their presentation. So that was really good to see as well. And then of course, metrics, analytics, like, can you show your retention? Can you give us some hard numbers? Stories are nice, but we want to see the results.
I'm just going to plus one what everyone said. I'm like, nope, you got all mine. Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you so much. The pitches were truly wonderful. And I hope you all continue with what you've started today, because you're going to learn so much. And you're going to make an impact if you grow these into projects or businesses, not just for yourselves, but other people as well. So really looking forward to seeing where these things go.
I just want to give a quick shout out to the judges, because they have funds to run, companies to run, their own companies. I heard some of the judges say, I left my team to come here and all of that. So I want to just give a quick round of applause to the judges. Great. These are people that also have their own companies to run. They have jobs, they have day jobs just like the rest of us. And I think this is one of the secret sauces of LeanGap, that the mentors, we are the only program that has real entrepreneurs, real technologists as their mentors. We're not college teachers, we're not academics, we're not professors. We have walked the path that the students embarked on. And just as this is our most important, like our biggest strength, it's also our biggest weakness, because unfortunately, I can't clone Tommy, I can't clone Ollie, MJ, Luis, Gemma, Sammy, Kaya, Arnie, Nafia, or Chelly. That's very unfortunate. However, all we need is 40 kids, and that's everything that they need as well. Now, 2023 is over, but 2024 is around the corner. I encourage you, if you have people on your life that you think LeanGap can help them grow into their next version of themselves, to encourage them to apply early so that they have the biggest chances to get in. You can also follow their journey at LeanGap on Instagram and TikTok, so that you can see some crazy videos that they created, and just them in general having fun, other than being really serious here. I want to thank our partners as well: GoDaddy, Webflow, Icons 8, Crimson, Canva, Clerky, Conrad Challenge, and the Diamond Challenge. They help the students a lot with the resources. They also refer students to LeanGap as a way to continue their journey, and we also refer to them. Like, I encourage everyone to apply to the Diamond Challenge, to the Conrad Challenge, and every competition that you can do. Thank you for being part of the LeanGap family. Thank you for parents, family members. Thank you for trusting your kids to us. I think one of the highest metrics of achievement for us, of success, is that no one died. So thank you very much and see you next year.